Hi everyone, I'm Jimaku Brimstone and welcome to the review of Tożsamość, the 9th studio record by the Polish heavy metal band Tuibo. This year we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the record, so I decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. This video is a part of a series I'm calling Dementia December, because as you can see, the 20th anniversary was like almost 20 days ago, and you know, I've missed it. I have dementia, sorry for that. So in December I'm like catching up to review some of my favorite records that I've just forgot about. If you've watched my previous Turbo reviews, then you already know that I'm a massive fan of this band. What can I say? My story with them is quite simple. My siblings were listening to this band when I wasn't even born yet, and when I was born they would play me their music. To this day my favorite record is the third one, Kawaleria Szatana, and also the 8th one, Avatai, the one that came before Tożsamość. For me personally, this band doesn't have a bad record. All of the lyrics were done by Grzegorz Kupczyk. He is the vocalist on this record, and the music was done by Wojciech Hoffman, who is the guitarist and founding member, Bogusz Rutkiewicz, the bassist, and Tomasz Krzyżaniak, the drummer. We've got the Polish version, which came out first and is the one you should be listening to, even if you don't understand Polish at all, because the cadence and the words just fit the music better, because the vocalist is from Poland and this is his native language, so he sings in this language way better than he does in English. You need to remember that. But for some reason they've also done the English version, which also changed the track list for some reason. So now for some reason Legend of Thor, the third song, is the first one, Magma, the sixth song, is the second one, The Man and the God, which was the fourth one I think, is the third one, Paranoia, which starts the Polish version, is the fourth, and Ada is in the same exact spot. Hermitage, which is Samotnia, was the second one, now it's here. Only the last two songs are in the same space as with Eneida. I have no clue why this change was made, because the record does not flow that well with this track list. So yeah, I also forgot that there's a second guitarist on the record, Dominik Jokiel. Yeah, so he's the rhythm guitarist, but he doesn't write anything. And the production was done by the band and the guitarist, mastering by the bassist. So yeah, that's all. What's interesting about this band is their discography. So Tuibo started in 1980, I think. At the time they were playing rock music, so nothing special, and then they've changed the vocalist to Grzegorz Kupczyk, who is present on this record, so he's here, then he skips Dead End and One Way, he comes back for Avatai, and Tożsamość is his last record with the band, so he's the best vocalist Tuibo has ever had, and he's the classic vocalist. It's like Bruce Dickinson in Iron Maiden, basically, who like did not perform on the first two records, and Grzegorz Kupczyk did not perform on the demo albums by Tuibo, which were recorded in 81-82. You can find them online or in the anthology box set. So yeah, but still Grzegorz Kupczyk is great, I love his vocals. Next we get Wojciech Hoffman, so he played on every record, like we don't need to do that. Bogusz Rutkiewicz, on the other hand, the bassist, he started playing on Smak Ciszy, so here, and then he like quit after Ostatni Wojownik, Last Warrior, and then he came back on Avatai, and he's been in the band since, so he's still in the band. And when it comes to drummers, this band had a lot of drummers. I don't even remember their names, to be quite honest. I remember that Alan played on Kawaleria Szatana, and someone else played here, and then finally on Tożsamość we've got that new drummer. I already forgot his name. Was it Tomasz Krzyżaniak or something like that? He played on 3 records, Tożsamość, Strażnik Światła and Piąty Element, and then he quit, and then the drummer who played on Avatar came back. So that's the whole story here. And now let me tell you how interesting this band is, because they do not seem like to stay in the same genre for a long period of time. So they were a rock band, so nothing special. They've put this album, Dorosłe Dzieci, which can be translated to grown-up kids or whatever. This record is okay. It's very popular in Poland. I guess it's their most recognizable one because it's just rock music, so boomers and older people who do not listen to metal can still be happy about it. Then Smak Ciszy was like a mix of rock and heavy metal. The last song was very heavy, the instrumental one. And then Kawaja Szatana is like heavy metal mixed with thrash metal. It sounds so fresh, heavy and interesting. It's like a mix of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest and some heavier stuff like Metallica. It sounds fantastic. And also, this is not correct. The record came out in December 86. How do I know that? Because we have the original cassette tape at home. Next we've got Ostatni Wojownik, which actually came out in 87. The English version came out in 88. So I don't know why that's messed up here. Ostatni Wojownik is just straight up thrash metal with screaming, shouting, almost no singing, so it's completely different yet again from Kawaja Szatana. It sounds like a different band. It's like they're so heavy and pissed off. And after that they did Epidemia, and this record is like, I don't know, progressive metal. It's weird, it's all over the place. It sounds like an experiment. After this one, the band almost broke up. So yeah, as you can see, Tuibo was all over the place, and then you know what they've decided? Let's start doing songs just in English, because here, as you can see, the first 3 records were in Polish, then Polish-English, Polish-English, and now 2 records just in English, and these are death metal albums, which sound like the first records from Possessed, Death, Napalm Death, whatever, that kind of stuff. It's so interesting to hear. It's like death thrash metal hybrid, and it's the heaviest this band has ever been, so it's very interesting to hear. And finally, after that, the band broke up. Then it reunited with the classic lineup, so Grzegorz Kupczyk on the vocals, Bogusz on the bass, Wojtek on the guitars, and a new drummer. They've released Avatar, which was very negatively received, because this is a nu metal record with heavy metal influences, and it's my second favorite Tuibo record, because it sounds so heavy. The bass lines are like, wow, like small nuclear warheads heading towards your direction. You're not going to hide from them. The drumming is perfect. Avatar is so heavy, so much fun. We get some songs where Grzegorz is like, I'm gonna scream through the entire song and no one's going to stop me, I'm angry. And then you get a ballad at the end. The only heavy metal song on this record is the first one, which is also the single with a music video, so I feel like that was a false advertisement, you know, for the fans of these records to basically buy the album, and the album then sounds like Korn or Linkin Park with heavier guitar work. So it's quite interesting. I love Avatar with all of my heart. Avatar also has a English version, which sucks. Do not listen to the English version. And we get Tożsamość, the record I'm going to review today. This one is like I'm sorry. The band is saying I'm sorry because Avatar was like a stab to the back of the true metalheads, true heavy metalheads. So Tożsamość goes back the heavy metal vibes of Kawaja Szatana and Smak Ciszy. It has that vibe to it. Yeah, and again, the English version sucks. After that, they've also released 2 more records, and these ones, I think I've reviewed. Piąty Żywioł? I'm not sure about Strażnik Światła. Maybe I should review this one as well. So, Strażnik Światła is also heavy metal, same with Piąty Żywioł. So, it's like, here they finally, like, chose which genre they are going to play. It's heavy metal, that's it. Going back to Tożsamość, the production is tight. It was done by the band themselves. I love the crisp, raw sound it has. Every instrument can be heard without any problems. The drums are mixed perfectly. Same with the bass. The bass shines on this record. The guitars and vocals also fantastically mixed. Yeah, this record sounds perfect to me even 20 years later. Message is diverse. The songs are mostly about personal struggles, but also faith, religion, God, which is very weird because in the past they had some anti-religious themes, and now it's like, it's hard to say, because Grzegorz, I feel he believes in God, so he's like, yeah, there was a God, or maybe man made God, you know, made him up. It's like, throughout this record he's wondering about faith, humanity in general, and that's the vibe I'm getting from this record. We also have a song about Thor for some reason, so yeah, mythology, why not? We also have a track called hermitage, samotnia, it's like loneliness, it's about dreaming. Then we get paranoia. So yeah, we've got some mental issues here as well. Then we got scroll or otwarte drzwi do miasta, which is like about a siege or something. So the lyrics are all over the place. It's hard to understand what they're actually talking about, but I do enjoy them a lot, and especially to sing along to the songs in the Polish versions, because the vocals go hard. That's what I'm going to say. Structure is advanced. Usually the songs go like this. We got a very long intro, which is also usually the chorus of the song, not all the time. Then we get a verse, which morphs into a second verse, which is slightly different. Then pre-chorus, chorus, another verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Usually in between we get 1 or 2 guitar solos. After that the bridge happens, and the bridge is usually like 2 to 4 different sections of the song with at least 2 guitar solos on top. After that they go back to the verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we get another guitar solo or a change, then another new segment and an outro, which sometimes is the same melody that was at the beginning of the song. So yeah, the structure is all over the place because they do repeat a lot. The songs are mostly very long. Some of the tracks are like 8-9 minutes long, and 5 minutes of the song is like repeating the stuff that was already in it. So like 5 minutes, like 50 to 70% is the stuff you've already heard, and then the 30% is what's very interesting to hear, you know, that stuff that only happens once in the entire song. Now let's talk about the genre. As I stated, this is a heavy metal record with slight thrash metal influences. It sounds like they've listened to a lot of Iron Maiden doing the writing of this record and recording, because it has those vibes. Musicianship, let's start with the drummer. He is phenomenal. His double bass work, the groove, the style, the precision of his playing, top notch. The bass lines by Bogusz, well, the bass is audible, and the bass is one of my favorite things about this record, because he shines through. He mostly does not follow the guitars, like he's like, nah, I'm doing my own thing, and it fits the music. The guitarist Wojciech and the other dude Jokiel, they're playing perfectly. I love Wojciech's guitar solos, they're just one of a kind. Some of the guitar riffs I am not big fan of because they sound very 70s, 80s, like, you know, that very vintage era of music. The guitar riffs sound like very rock and rollish instead of metal, and whenever that happens I'm like, is this really what we need right now? Give me some heavier stuff. So I'm always looking out for that, because I've noticed that the previous records, you know, even the rock album Smak Ciszy didn't have that much of a rock and roll vibe like this record has in some parts. And last but not least, we've got the vocals by Grzegorz Kupczyk, and his voice is as good as usual. I will not say a bad word about the vocals here, because his singing, shouting, yelling, sometimes screaming is top notch. I love how high he can go. You know, the notes he's hitting, I'm like, wow, I'm never going to sing like that or scream. So it's very interesting to hear. Overall, the musicianship is through the roof on this record. Now let's rate the individual tracks. Paranoia, the first track. This one has a great intro. Dun, 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 dun. That melody at the beginning, the bass line. Grzegorz is like, oh, in the background, the beginning, and then we get the verse. Żywisz się czymś, czego nie ma, brak ci miłości życia, samo spełnienia, ucieczka w głąb samotności. I'm not even sure if that's the first verse or the second one, because I don't remember, but it sounds like that. Then again, the intro comes back after the verse for some reason, then the second verse, then we get the pre-chorus, I would say, which is my favorite part of the song. That's where Kupczyk is singing krew z krwi, kość z kości, krew z krwi, kość z kości. I love that stuff. And then the chorus hits, which is like, żyjesz, nie żyjesz, something like that. I don't remember the correct words. The chorus is great, but I wish the pre-chorus was the chorus instead, because it just sounds so great at that part. Then we get some cool guitar solos in the middle, some bridge part. The entire song just radiates energy. It's like the band is back in their, glory days. I wish that more bands would release records like that, where from beginning to the end you can feel that the passion and the energy and the will to perform is still there. 11 out of 10. Samotnia, Hermitage. This is my favorite song on this record, and it's in my top 10 songs by Tuibo for sure. Musically, this is a journey. We even have some blast beats, some tremolo riffs, the drumming in the chorus. Wow, so juicy. It reminds me of Korn, Here to Stay. Then we get some cool bridge with the guitar solos. As you can see, I'm skipping the vocals because I want to talk about them later. The bass lines also slap. The cool, picking section on the guitar, like in Gojira. It's all here. This is the most interesting song for me on the record. And it also does not overstay its welcome because it's only 6 minutes long. It's like one of the shortest tracks on the record. I love the singing throughout the entire song, starting with the verse. Sny to takie miejsca, w których jestem sam. Tu uciekam, tak tam jestem sam. Czasem bywa u mnie ktoś, budzi mnie. Czuję bezład, pływam snem. That guitar riff reminds me of that Talion song, Mark of Cain. It was on Crowding of Atlantis compilation, Mark of Cain. So it has that vibe. But my favorite part of the entire song is the chorus and the singing on it. Czuję bezład, pływam snem. Nie umiem, bawię się. Pływam snem, nie umiem, bawię się. I can sing for shit, so sorry for butchering that, but how Grzegorz is singing that part is just so emotional, it makes me cry, it's so fucking good. So yeah, Samotnia is 12 out of 10. Legenda Toja is the third song. And this one, I remember that when the record was released, I always skipped that song. I was like, I don't like this, because this one sounds so very positive, from the guitar perspective and the vocals. But I do love the bass lines and the drumming. The vocals are fun as well. The entire song is about 4. Legenda Toja, jest to czterogłowy ptak. I don't remember the lyrics, but it's so fucking funny. Yeah, great song from beginning to the end. Over the years, I grew to appreciate it for what it's doing. Especially enjoyed the guitar solos and the funny, repetitive chorus, which is like a 12-year-old would come out with this shit. 10 out of 10. Człowiek i Bóg nie są tacy sami. So yeah, The Man and the God, the fourth song. This one starts very acoustically, I guess, with a guitar solo. Again, very Iron Maiden-like track all the way. I do enjoy it. If it didn't have my favorite segment of the entire record, I wouldn't give it a top score, but it has. It has a perfect pre-chorus or chorus, it's hard to say. I think it's a pre-chorus, but the singing in it is like, wow, it's my favorite thing ever here. Jego nic już nie zbawi, boś mu siebie objawił. Jaką władzę masz nad nami, czego chcesz? Jego nic już nie zbawi, boś mu siebie objawił. Jaką władzę masz nad nami, czego chcesz? And that final czego chcesz is like 3 voices are doing that for the second time, which is very nice because you're going to remember that part because of it. So yeah, that part is one of a kind. The entire song is also great. I love the instrumental work, especially the bass lines, the guitar solos. The heavier parts go hard, the more laid back sections. Yeah, not for me overall, but I do enjoy listening to it from beginning to the end, so 10 out of 10. Eneida is an instrumental piece here. I must say that it's my second least song here. Not because it's bad, it's actually quite great. I love the guitar solos, the atmosphere of it. It's fun to listen from beginning to the end. But what drags it down for me is how forgettable it is. Whenever I listen through this record, and I've heard it thousands of times since it was released, I never remember this track, like not any section. And I always wonder why, because it's a great song, but I never have will to listen to it like on its own. I'm never like, oh yeah, let's put on Eneida, yeah, I remember that one. No, I don't remember that one. Like, I've heard this song more than 100 times and I don't remember it. So, what is wrong with it? I am not sure. It's a great track, but it just will not stay in my mind. So, that to me is not a legendary song. It's like a great song that is fun to listen to when you finally get to it. But on its own, yeah, I will not remember it. So yeah, it's forgettable. That's the only complaint I have here. But it's fun to listen to. 8 out of 10. Makumra, or however you pronounce that stuff. This is another highlight of this record. My third favorite song for sure. I love the energy of the guitars, the drumming, the bass line. I love the chorus so much. Ciche szepty niczym wiatr, głosy martwych, głosy las, ciche szepty martwych dusz, głosy ciche niczym wiatr, głosy martwych, głosy las, ciche szepty martwych dusz. And the cool guitar riff. To twój bunt, twe własne słowa. So yeah, it goes like that. The guitar solos again slap. Kupczyk goes hard with the wow, wow, wow. He does that very high pitched screams in some part, and I'm like, it's so funny. It's so fun to listen to. 11 out of 10. Pismo, Skoj, another song about God. This one is the longest track on the record. It's I guess my least favorite overall, because of how long it is. Some parts drag it down, but it's not bad. I do enjoy the pre-chorus, the verses, the chorus, not so much to be quite honest. The solos go hard, and what is the highlight of this song? The bass sound and the bass lines. Bogusz, great work. 8 out of 10. Final track, Otwarte drzwi do miasta, open doors of the city. Is this even correct in English? It should be opened doors to the city, right? Never mind. Otwarte drzwi do miasta. This one has amazing main guitar riff. You're going to hear it for 80% of the song because they play it in the intro, in the outro, in the verses, in the pre-chorus, whatever. It just goes like that, but it sounds fantastic, I must say. So they were sure that this riff goes hard, and it does. I love the the more heavier parts. Again, Kupczyk goes off on this song with his high-pitched screaming and stuff like that. Otwarte drzwi do miasta, wokół dziki tłum. Słychać wokół strzały i yeah. It's like, yeah, James Hetfield finally showed up on the record. So great stuff all the way. Again, the guitar solos, the chorus. It's my third favorite song here. Back when the record was released, this one and Samotnia, I would listen to them all the time for some reason. Nowadays, I do not come back to Otwarte drzwi do miasta that much, you know. Probably because the song is very long, but yeah, it has a special place in my heart, so 11 out of 10, great ending. To sum it all up, the consistency is stable, the flow is fitting, reparability, yeah, it's a masterpiece. I enjoyed this record from beginning to the end. There aren't any bad songs here or even good ones, just straight up legendary tracks or great ones. If I had to change something about this record, I would remove 2 songs, Pismo and Eneida. Not because they are weak tracks, but because Pismo is so long, it's like 10 minutes long, and Eneida is like forgettable. And what I would do would be to put up the unreleased track that the band said they wrote and recorded for the record. And the ninth song sounded very similar to the previous record, Avatar, one of my favorite records, and they've decided to not release the song because it was too similar. And well, I'm sure that that song is way better than Pismo and Eneida, because I want some more nu metal from Tuibo. So yeah, where is that song? I would love to listen to it. I am so angry that it still remains unreleased after 20 years. Will I even ever hear it? I feel like this record would benefit from less amount of songs, so Pismo, Bye Bye, or maybe just, you know, make the songs shorter, like Pismo and Eneida, Człowiek i Bóg. Yeah, these three songs I feel like they would benefit from being shorter. Everything else slaps. My favorite tracks here are Samotnia, Paranoia, Magmia, Otwarte drzwi do miasta, Legenda Toja i Człowiek i Bóg. Great stuff all the way. Thank you for listening and watching. Sorry for my voice, I'm still a little bit sick. Shout out to my Patreons who support the channel. If you want, you can also become a Patreon or YouTube member, so I can make more videos like this one. Share in the comment section what you think about this record. Do you enjoy it or not? I love it. And yeah, that's it. I will see you in my other videos. Bye!
Głosy ciche niczym wiatr, głosy martwych, głosy lat, ciche szepty martwych dusz.